You scroll through your phone and see another announcement of a promotion or a wedding. It feels like a sharp tug in your chest because you are still standing in the exact same place you were last year. You look at people your age and wonder if they received an instruction manual for life that you somehow missed. It is a quiet panic that tells you that you are late to a race you did not even know you were running. You start to feel like a stranger in your own skin because your reality doesn't match the expectations in your head. Every birthday starts to feel less like a celebration and more like a deadline you have failed to meet. You find yourself lying when people ask how work is going or what your plans for the summer are. You say you are just busy, but the truth is, you feel like you are drifting in open water with no land in sight. Psychologists have a name for this specific weight in your gut. It is called relative deprivation. This is the internal distress we feel when we measure our personal progress against the highlighted success of those around us. Think about the last time you felt successful until you saw an old high school friend post about their new house. Suddenly, your own progress felt like a failure because the yardstick you were using changed in an instant. Most people think this feeling comes from being lazy or a lack of ambition. But the truth is much deeper than that, and it is usually a sign that you are living for a timeline that was never yours. You start to feel like a spectator in your own life while everyone else is on stage performing. You begin to pull away from friends because their good news feels like a reminder of your own stagnation. You stop celebrating your small wins because they feel insignificant compared to the giant leaps of others. This is the social comparison trap in action. We compare our messy behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's curated highlight reel. It is like judging the quality of your book by looking at the front cover of someone else's third volume. When you do this, you trigger a part of your brain that interprets social status as a survival mechanism. To your primal mind, falling behind the tribe feels like being left behind to starve. That is why the anxiety feels so physical and so urgent. You feel a constant need to hurry, even when you have nowhere specific to go. You find yourself apologizing for your life when people ask what you have been up to lately. You have started to equate your age with a checklist of things you should have already achieved. Degrees and relationships and career titles become weights instead of milestones. This creates a state of chronic cortisol elevation because your brain thinks you are in a permanent state of emergency. You are exhausted, not because you are working too hard, but because you are constantly monitoring the speed of others. Imagine trying to drive a car while only looking out the side window at the lanes next to you. You will eventually crash or veer off the road because you stopped looking at your own path. The pressure to keep up is actually a form of identity foreclosure. You are letting the expectations of society decide who you should be before you even figure it out for yourself. You end up chasing goals that do not even make you happy, just so you can say you reached them. You buy things you do not need to impress people you do not even like. And yet the empty feeling remains. It remains because you are building a life based on external validation rather than internal values. You feel stuck because you are trying to fit a square peg of your reality into the round hole of a standard timeline. This creates a phenomenon known as the quarter-life crisis. It is the realization that the map you were given in childhood does not match the terrain of the modern world. The jobs that were promised do not exist, and the milestones that used to be easy are now out of reach. You feel like you are failing at a game that has been rigged against you from the start. But the most dangerous part of this feeling is the way it makes you treat yourself. You become a harsh inner critic who points out every flaw and every missed opportunity. You stop trying new things because you are afraid of falling even further behind. You become paralyzed by the gap between where you are and where you think you should be. Real progress is rarely linear, and it never looks like a straight line on a graph. Some people bloom early like spring flowers, while others need the heat of late summer to open up. Neither is better, but both are subject to their own unique seasons. If you feel like you are falling behind, it usually means you are in a season of gathering rather than a season of harvest. You are developing the depth and the character that the fast trackers might be skipping over. The silence of your current plateau is where your true strength is being built. Think of a bamboo tree that shows no growth above ground for 5 years, while it builds a massive root system. Then, in a single season, it grows 80 feet tall. You are currently building your roots. You are learning how to handle disappointment and how to sit with your own thoughts. These are the skills that will keep you upright when the storm eventually hits the people who had it easy. You have to stop asking the world for permission to move at your own pace. The yardstick you are using is broken because it was designed by people who do not know your heart. It is time to throw away the checklist that was handed to you by strangers. Start measuring your life by the depth of your peace rather than the height of your status. Ask yourself what you would pursue if no one was watching your progress. The answer to that question is where your real life actually begins. You might realize that you do not actually want the house or the promotion yet. You might realize you just wanted the feeling of being okay, and you can be okay right now without changing a single thing about your external circumstances. The urgency you feel is a lie told to you by a culture that profits from your insecurity. They want you to feel behind so that you will buy the solution to catch up, but there is nothing to catch up to because there is no finish line. Your life is not a race to be won, but an experience to be felt. You are not late, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons that will sustain your future. The race is only with the version of yourself from yesterday, and as long as you are still breathing, you are still in the game. Take a deep breath and look at the path directly under your feet. It is the only one that matters. Your timeline is valid. Your pace is enough. You are allowed to take your time. Stop looking at their clock and start listening to your own heart. You are doing better than you think you are. The person you are becoming is worth the wait. Do not rush the process just because you are afraid of the silence. The silence is where the growth happens. You are going to be fine. Just keep walking your own path, one small step at a time.